The Hawk has been home.
Never dies.
Never dies. That wing is always flapping. At least one anyways. 3,500 flaps a game.
We did the math.
We did.
That is one flap about every 2.5 seconds over the entire course of a game. And I'm about to commit a giant mascot sin right now. That's not a real hawk. I know we're supposed to suspend disbelief, but here at St. Joe's, they actually publicize it. Full scholarship, they call it their featherhood. Sophie Smychek, she is a women's basketball team manager. That's her day job, and then she is the hawk at night.
And as soon as the hawk comes out on the floor, actually before she even came out on the floor, as soon as the head goes on,
no talk.
You're in business.
Yeah,
you're in business and you're flapping.
Corner three, Monahan. Big time rebound by Mayock and knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with St. Joe's. The Hawk has never died here tonight as well. St. Joe's down by as many as 10, has led here in the second half. And Monahan has found ways to score even though they've taken her away. 0 for 2 on the possession, and La Salle takes over. How's she done it?
She's been able to do it because of the switch up number 1 on defense. Sanders is now on the bench with her 4th foul. La Salle's trying to figure out how to mask that, and she's had a little bit more success with whoever has been guarding her, aside from Sanders on the floor.
There's a steal. Jaycott blocked. Oh, Nichols. And then stolen back by Jaycott with a foul.
Good flurry there, and the fans extremely appreciative from both ends of the floor. 1 block, 2 blocks, and then tip back the opposite way.
Nichols came literally from New Zealand for the block. Monahan, deep open look. That's how she's getting it done.
Nice kick out. Great kick out to her.
21 points for Monahan. That's her average over the last 4 games. And a foul on the drive against Nichols. She and Jaycott are in a war.
Jaycott makes the pass to the weak side and finds the open person. Not afraid to reverse the basketball. Credit that play, a big assist by Jaycott.
4th lead change of the game. And a whistle before the inbound. Offensive foul against La Salle. It's the first on Kayla Sproul. Neither team is in tremendous foul trouble. 4 on Delanois for St. Joe's, and then the 4 on Sanders are big for La Salle, but she's the only one. Roige lost it to Jaycott. Monahan called for the screen.
Gotta work that high ball screen. Now, depending on who attacks, kicks it back to Maycock.
1 to shoot. Drew the foul and a big time bailout. The second on Sproul. And that's a situation where time and score let her take that shot.
I think everyone was thinking, well, ball may come back to the elbow free throw line extended, but a nice job getting it to Katie Jaycock at the free throw line. Has made some super passes to set up her teammates today and doing a nice job there to put that ball up, but got to convert from the free throw line, especially this late in the game when you have those opportunities.
The math says this will go in. 87% on the year. Waited a long time to play college basketball. Sat out last year with an ACL tear. You can see still has that right leg heavily wrapped up and braced. And she knew it was long immediately. How about the job to try to get the free throw rebound by the shooter there? La Salle outrunning. Nichols can't hit. Miller is there. And it's Jaycott who ties her up. The freshman is doing it all. The arrow stays with La Salle.
There was nothing that Shalina Miller could do. She was falling backwards on that play. She was trying to get her balance and rolled right into Katie Jaycott.
La Salle trying to stay afloat. And Miller does just that. Put her at the line. Answers for the Explorers. in a new spot.
Yeah, and Katie Mayock had kind of taken her eyes off the play for just a little bit of a second, and I think that she was worried about the curl of Brown on that play. By the time she focused back, it was uh-oh, because the ball was into Miller.
How about the way La Salle has handled a tight game down the stretch here? They haven't been in a ton of them.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, Joel, you're in an environment that's not only your crosstown rival, you're trying to make a statement. This is your opportunity, again, on national television. Everyone for the conference is watching. And we talked about the parity in the conference this year. I think it's still wide open, and La Salle's trying to just make their statement tonight, utilizing this opportunity. I'm sure Coach Mountain, Coach Day, and the staff talked to their team about that.
Foul on the floor. That's the second on Mayock. If you're La Salle, this puts you on a whole different trajectory. If you're St. Joe's, this is a game, particularly at home, that's a tough one for you to lose as they try to turn the tide as well. Tough start in A-10 play, but as you alluded to, it's still anybody's game. St. Joe's last year started slow, wound up in the conference championship. Sanders back in with those 4 fouls. Here's Miller, and she traveled. What's it like when those TV lights come on? It's the national TV exposure. Do the juices flow differently?
We hear it all the time. As we take a look at foul trouble for both of these squads, and I think you've got to put a big circle right around Sanders and the way that she has played on the floor for her teammates early on in this game to take Monahan out of the game. And now she's got to be a little bit more careful. If I'm Coach Griffin, any opportunity I can get, I'm kind of going at Sanders. Try to get her off the court here with so many minutes left in the fourth quarter.
They drive it at her.
Absolutely.
Roy is a driver. They go backdoor to her. Right idea. Monahan just a little behind. It was quite prophetic, Leah. Into Sanders. Beat the press. Has help. Brown. That's beautiful.
Get back now. Don't want to play tight defense here. No full court pressure.
Does it not feel like there's a minute left in this game?
Every possession feels like there's a minute left. 4 high here, interested to see who flares and cuts to the basket.
Monahan off a screen with a foul. Off the screen, Whisper Fisher said it beautifully.
And it was interesting, I was kind of watching what was going on off ball on this play. They reversed the basketball to the opposite side of the floor, the weak side of the floor. And Whisper really helping out Monahan on this opportunity.
It's the 4th on La Salle, so no free throws, just possession for St. Joe's, but maybe a 5 or 6 point possession. Roish off her foot, off of Reese's foot. And notable that Reese is guarding Roish at this point. Sanders with those 4 fouls. Foul, by the way, was on Rachel Brown. It was her 4th when she ran through the Fisher screen. Jaycock dumped down to Fisher. Into Miller. Got it back. Foul on Miller, and it stays here. Free throws. What a possession for St. Joseph's. Up 4 in a game it trailed by 10.
Well, Whisper Fisher had struggled early on in this game with only 1 attempt. Has been working hard against Shalina Miller all afternoon. And you got to keep going at it and going at those opportunities. You see Miller now with those 4 fouls and 14 points. She has been a nemesis inside. We talked about her at the top of the broadcast. La Salle needed to have that inside presence. Miller's going to step aside here for a little bit with those 4 fouls.
Whisper Fisher scored the first 2 points for St. Joe's. and has not scored since. You mentioned got off to that hot start. Foul trouble took her out for most of the first half. So what's it like when you get back into the game now? You've been sitting for so long. You just want to play.
You want to play, but I'm sure the coaching staff told her before she went in, relax, settle in. Don't feel you need to do it all by yourself because you've been on the bench for so long. But you can't wait for that opportunity to get back in the ballgame.
St. Joe's has had the basketball for over a minute. Monahan, the made three with a foul off ball. They never lost possession.
Jump ball.
And it will stay.
How about that? Breaks keep going the Hawks' way. These little situations. Oh!
Jaycott. And did they get a foul on that too? They did. Blocked by Jaren Reese.
I think Reese may have gotten a knee in the situation as Jaycock went baseline. Let's take a look at it again. Everyone was anticipating the play the opposite way.
In the charge circle, she's not going to get that call either. And it is now a 1 minute and 10-second possession for St. Joe's. Jaycott can't hit the free throw. But another chance at the bucket. La Salle may not play offense again.
Just milk it down. You've got the shot clock and now the game clock. Starting to utilize it. Keep it working in your favor. Make that extra pass.
Jaycott with 7 to shoot. Baisden, 3 to shoot. Back to Jaycott. And Roy nearly had another offensive rebound. A possession of 1 minute and 42 seconds.
Guess what?
And
Sanders.
That's a reach in.
Yeah.
Janae Sanders' jaw hits the floor. She's played phenomenally, but she's played it out. And she fouls out in back-to-back games for the La Salle Explorers.
Totally surprised by what was coming up behind her. Jaycock with some good hustle, making that play happen and really forcing Sanders to come back in. And once she came in and crossed the body with her hand, made it an easy call for the officiating.
It's a freshman foul of frustration.
Good afternoon, though, for the freshman.
Awesome.
She was very solid against the senior.
If her team comes back to win, she won't be a part of it, but she's the reason that they'll be in position for it. Here's Jaycott. Got a great screen from Fisher. 4 to shoot. Baisden's got to go. Baisden step back. And now what can La Salle muster on offense here, facing its largest deficit of the game? And down 2 point guards.
Well, and I think you've got to work your plays to isolate something inside once again for Miller, where she had success early on, but she's getting pushed off the block right now. Shalina's got to get in her position, but I love the way actually, Whisper Fisher is digging into her so she can't get into her comfort spot down low in the block.
That's 10 points for Rachel Brown, and a timeout. Cindy Griffin talked this over with her team up 4. St. Joe's, the Hawk will never die. Is that apropos?